Hey, what's up guys? It's your favorite rambling man with another rambling update. To be fair, it's actually been a hot minute since the last one. I decided to switch up tact because I got a little bit ridiculous last year with the amount of updates I did within I want to say months of each other. Maybe even weeks in some scenarios, but I decided to switch it up this year. And I think doing them every 4 months or so, it's a good time frame. Also, since there's a new series starting on the channel soon, I thought, yeah, this is a good time to do an update because there's a few things I want to mention, a few things that I want to get feedback on, and I just like doing updates. They keep you in what's the word I'm looking for? They keep you involved with everything and make sure that you stay on the right path. So yeah, that's why I'm doing one right now. So hopefully I can give info that I want to talk about and can sort of hype you up for all the new exciting stuff that I got coming. So let's just get straight to it. God, maybe one of these days I'll actually script these so that it won't be super rambly, but today is not that day, so rambling on we go. So, for people who don't know, and for people who also do know, new edited series coming out on the channel a few days from now, in fact, which is Sakura Wars. Sakura Wars, which is a long-running Japanese Sega franchise, and it's for the first time in a while. It's getting a Western release. I think the last one that came out for the West was, I want to say, the 4th or 5th entry on PlayStation 2 of all consoles. And we didn't even ever get the original. There was 1, 2, 3, which was on Sega Saturn. And yeah, we never got those. So for Sakura Wars fans, this is actually the first time, if you're a Sakura Wars fan in the West, that you actually get to play a full-fledged title, unless you were lucky enough, or unlucky enough, according to some, to play that PS2 release, which apparently was not the best, and that was also the last one to come out for the main series in, I want to say 12 years, or something ridiculous. Maybe even longer, now that I think about it, because it was 2006. Yeah, so about 12 to 15 years in that sort of time frame. So, pretty excited, because it's a franchise that I know about through Project Cross Zone, which is probably where a lot of people know it from. And by a lot of people, I mean the 10,000 people that have played Project Cross Zone. And basically seeing these characters and being like, what the hell Sega franchise is this from? That's what I like about Project Cross Zone. Project Cross Zone is just basically an excuse for a load of different publishers to just throw in characters that no one remembers from certain franchises, and then you get to, you're playing Capcom, and it's like, yeah, I know Ryu and Ken, I know Dante, and then you get to Dimitri, and it's like, how's this guy? Or you're playing Sega, and it's like Resonance of Fate characters, which I actually did cover on my channel fully. Did a full playthrough of Resonance of Fate. Still a really interesting game. And you just get to those characters, and you're like, who the hell is this guy? Or Bond from Fighting Vipers. It's just like, what? Who? I don't know this guy. That's what Project Cross Zone is all about. Or Namco X Capcom or Project Cross Zone 2. Basically that type of, game. But, anyway, getting off track. But, yeah, Sakura Wars. And for this, quote-unquote, edited playthrough, I'm gonna try and be a little bit more, I don't know what the word I want to use is. I guess I want to be a bit more edited with it. And yes, that is a dumb sentence I just said, but what I mean is, I feel like I want to sort of, since, while doing the Judgment playthrough, and doing some other playthroughs in the past, when doing it pre-recorded, I feel like I could add a little bit more in terms of presentations. I'm not talking going crazy over the top and being super edited, high-speed gameplay highlight, that type of edited. No, I mean, I guess might be more informative. One of the things I kind of regret is specifically when I was doing the Fist of the North Star playthrough, I'm really sad that I didn't when I was trying to explain things or characters or certain like points of the story from Fist of the North Star. I'm really sad I didn't go back and get like screenshots from like the manga in order to use as like sort of like little like edit in like, hey, this is what I'm talking about, like when I was talking about all the different translations of like Fauza, like all the different like points where he has like different names, or like when I was talking about a specific scene, just like bringing it up. You know what's a good example is, and this is very specific, it's look up the compilation of when Wooly and Pat from Best Friends played JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven. The compilation specifically, that when Wooly is trying to explain stuff to Pat, the compilation would actually edit in the exact like points that he is referencing. Kind of like that. Maybe a little less in your face. Not like straight up cutting from gameplay to show the whole picture, but like having the picture sort of just show up in like the corner of the screen. That's what I'm talking about. So what I want to do for Sakura Wars is I want to basically, when I'm going through the game and when I'm like referencing like the old series, I actually want to bring up like points and like screenshots and sort of edit in sort of like diagrams, or maybe not diagrams is the right word. I want to edit in basically like reference points. That's the word I'm looking for. Reference points while we're going through. And I don't want it to like completely overtake the entire playthrough, but I think it'd be nice as like an edited playthrough just to give it that sort of extra little bit of presentation. And like I said, I'm not going to go crazy over the top and do like 30 different things per episode, otherwise it would take forever for them to actually come out. But you know, if I ever actually reference anything, I just want to have that little extra bit of like, hey, here's things to look up, or like here's the thing that I'm talking about. And I think that'll be kind of a neat idea. So I'm going to try and do that going forward, but also not have it be in your face. So it'll be experimentation, but we'll see how it goes. And I think because of that, I'll keep on doing the one edited playthrough, because I think doing two at once is a bit too much, especially with like how much I'm trying to get done, especially with streaming and everything. So one edited playthrough is going to continue. I've got a pretty good idea of what the next ones are going to be. So I'm pretty ready for the next few. I'm going to say for the next year. Maybe year and a bit. I'm pretty much decided what I'm going to do. So I'm set there. And that makes me happy. Which kind of leads me on to the next point, which I sort of mentioned, which is streaming. Streaming has been going very well. I'm very happy with how it's been going. A lot of people seem to be enjoying the the way that I sort of do things. And also, I think people are mostly happy with the uploading of the VODs on my channel. But I kind of want to get some feedback on that, because I want to know if there's anything better I can do, because I've been thinking about it, because so far it's just been literally, you know, getting the VOD, the gameplay, that's been recorded in the background, uploading that, giving it its title, giving it its thumbnail, and that's it. It's literally dumping the VOD on YouTube so to people to watch the whole thing. And I want to know if that's okay, or if there's a better way to sort of give out the VODs. And what I mean by that is, I know some people like to cut down the VODs. I guess if we go back to sort of Wooly as an example, he has a whole setup with like having the screen setup and then having like a separate recording and then like cutting the VODs. Sorry, excuse me, into smaller segments as like episodes. And I could do that. When I say episodes, I don't mean like they're gonna be 30 minutes. They're probably gonna still be like an hour long. But obviously that might make them more easily digestible for people on viewings. Or or it could not be favorable, because that also means it would take longer, technically, for the actual full VOD to come out from when I did the session. And the other thing has been the presentation of the VODs, because obviously it's a very different sort of setting to the edited content, quote-unquote, which is why I wanted to sort of make them a bit more distinct from each other with the whole edited suggestions thing that I was talking about before. Because with the VODs and streaming, I obviously have the chat on the side, I've got the whole layout which I sorted out, which I'm happy with. I actually really like the layout. Might be a few things that change. I don't want things to be too in your face. I still want it to be nice and viewable without ads coming up or whatever. But there might be some slight changes to how I cut them up for the most part. But obviously you gotta remember that, you know, me just dumping them, for lack of a better term, on my channel straight from when they're recorded. That's obviously the easiest thing to do, because it's super quick. I just go like, okay, boom, upload, give it a thumbnail, schedule it for so-and-so, and then done. But again, I want to hear back. If you think there's a better way, or if there's something you prefer, if you prefer it being shorter, you know, how the VODs and stuff are sort of handled. I want to hear back on that, because some people might just consider it lazy to just dump it on the channel, and honestly, I think there's an argument for that. So basically, I just want to hear feedback, and that's how it is with streaming so far. So yeah, it's definitely going well. Obviously, if you haven't had a chance to check any of my sessions, I obviously put the schedule up on Twitter, on my YouTube community, on my Discord, which I'll have a link to in the comments and in the description as always. And the Discord has a really nice community now. It's actually way more active than I was expecting it to be, which I'm very happy about. So yeah, this is a good place right now, which I'm happy about. And I guess that could actually sort of segue into the next point. Try to get through these points as succinctly as possible, and that is, I really want to start doing community days. I really want to start doing days dedicated to like playing with people online, you know, during stream sessions. Doesn't even have to be during stream sessions, it could just be offline as well, but I do want to absolutely do it on stream as well. And just sort of playing and just hanging out and just doing that type of thing, because I think that's a nice idea. And I really want to get to it within the next few weeks. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff has been coming out where it's like been demanding my attention, like FF7 Remake and Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal, it's not so much the problem, because that's one where I'm like, yeah, this is going to take some time. I could just do it a few times a week, and we'll eventually beat it in, like, I don't know, 8 months. Somewhere in that time frame, maybe 6 months, probably less, I don't know. But eventually it'll get beaten. But FF7R is the one which has been commanding my attention, because it's like, no, I gotta beat this before people spoil it for me. I've gotta just do session, you know. It's just been in that kind of situation where it's like, and I'm really close to the end now, so I can almost be like, okay, take a breather, do some other stuff, and can finally get to these community sessions that I really want to do. But, yeah, but to basically just keep an eye out on the schedules for when I announce that, because I could already say what the first game's gonna be, and I chose this game totally not because I heard another YouTuber do it, and I didn't steal it from a certain Scarfulu in the process. The first game I want to do is Fistful of Frags, which, not the most channel-related in terms of being niche, but I did choose it because it's a damn fun game, which I used to play. It's free, it's on PC, you can run it on a toaster if you wanted to, because it's on the Source engine. So basically, the idea was I wanted to pick something which as many people as possible could play. And it seems to be working, because there are some people I know that follow me who have toasters for laptops, as they put it, and they're able to get it running and working, and I'm like, great, this is a good first choice. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and it'll be a trial run of basically doing a community day. It could go horrific, it could go absolutely just the worst. But even then, it still should be fun. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that out there. So if you're interested in that, and you got, Steam and like a PC and an internet connection, I mean, I hope you have like 2 of those things, because otherwise, how the hell are you watching this video? Actually, well, I guess you could have a mobile phone and be watching this video, but an internet connection is the important one. But yeah, just download it. It's not also super huge. It's like, I don't know, 5 to 7 gig, which is nothing nowadays. So yeah. Just keep that in mind, and there'll be announcements saying, hey, I'm going to be playing at this time. So you can prepare for that. So, yeah, that's Community Day, which I want to do. So that's my 3rd point. And on to the 4th point. I don't know which one to start with. I guess this is sort of a more... yeah, I'll go on to this one, because I sort of mentioned thumbnails before. But, like, basically, I want to... in terms of also getting more feedback, I also want to know how people feel about the thumbnails that I've been doing for stuff. Because with the pre-recorded, edited LPs, I've sort of stuck to, like, theming the thumbnails based around the game that we play. And they change every time, so it's a bit of a... it's a big focus on the actual games that we're playing, so like, the Yakuza thumbnails, the Sakura Wars thumbnail, which you can see with the intro and stuff, and all the other stuff that I've done before, basically traditional sort of LP type thumbnails. Those I want to continue, because those are... I enjoy doing them, and plus nowadays, I hate how the algorithm decides which thumbnails are good or which ones deserve to be seen on YouTube. I seriously hate, like, how it wants you to do thumbnails, and honestly, I just straight up refuse. Because I'm stubborn. I straight up refuse to do those types of thumbnails. And you know the ones I'm talking about. Big O face in the corner of, like, a character, or you, personally, just it's not my style. And I hate that people I like have to do them, because even people I like that are subscribed to do them. And also with the titles, I also just straight up refuse to do the titles. It wants me like, this is the craziest thing you ever see, just stuff like that. So those, I'm not gonna do those, because I just don't like them. Is it technically good for my growth? No, but, it just rubs me the wrong way if I just decided to do it. And in a weird way, my stuff kind of stands out more, because I'm one of the few not doing the thing that the algorithm wants to do. It's really funny when you type in Yakuza 6 playthrough, and you see the sort of YouTube algorithm thumbnails, and then you just see my thumbnail, which actually kind of sticks out, which I'm actually kind of happy about. I don't know why it was Yakuza 6 specifically, because I remember seeing one of those clickbait thumbnails ever. But I'm not gonna call anyone out. I can't even remember who it was, but like, I just remember seeing it, and like, that's just ridiculous. This is the most... Which is kind of funny, because Yakuza has a bunch of, like, clickbait things that you could do. Anyway, but the point is, yeah, thumbnails and titles, those are gonna stay, but, the ones that I do want the feedback on is the, stream thumbnails, because stream thumbnails, as you probably noticed by now, have a different look, and I want to make them very distinct from the traditional sort of LP thumbnails that I've been doing. Because stream thumbnails, I've been sort of like giving them the red background, and sort of like having them be still like edited and made up, but also having them do this sort of traditional thing which a lot of other people are doing on YouTube, which is like, hey, here's the game character, here's the game title, and here's like a, avatar basically in the corner. But I might make the avatar bigger, because it's a little bit small. But the whole idea is basically to be like, hey, this is my stuff. If you see the avatar, you recognize it as mine, and if you see the red background, you recognize it as mine. And I think that's good for stream stuff, because, I don't know, it just seems to fit. Maybe that's just me, but it just seems to fit to do the stream sort of setup and have that be the thumbnails for it. So, yeah. That's, but obviously I want feedback on that if you enjoy it, if you don't enjoy it. And that's about it for that. Which means I only have one more thing to mention, and that's sort of plans for the future. And there's a lot of stuff that I really want to do. Some of it's going to be long-term, some of it's going to be shorter-term. There's certain things I've only just scratched the surface on things that I want to do, like Suda month. I absolutely want to do more themed months on like certain franchises or creators that I have like a big passion for, because I think they deserve the recognition, and plus I just want an excuse to go through their stuff, and Suda month was so much fun, like seriously. And it was also just nice to know, like, oh, people do want to see the old stuff. It's not just the new stuff that they want to see. It's also new, old stuff that they want to see, which is good. I like that. But, yeah, it also just gives me an excuse to do certain franchises where it's like, hey, I really want to do this series, so I'll just do all of it. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. And I definitely know which ones in my head I absolutely want to get to. So... yeah, I will look forward to that, because I don't want to spoil them all, but there's a gothic one in there, certain fantasy ones in there, and yes, that is all the hints you are getting. But other than that, there is another long-term project, which is actually related to what you're seeing in the background of the update video. Yeah, just... some FF14. I've done FF14 on stream. They were sort of like one-off streams based on events, but I want to get more involved with FF14 because I freaking love this game so much, and I've been thinking on how to introduce it in a way that just doesn't completely take over the channel. Because FF14 is a big game. There are entire, like, communities and channels just dedicated to it, because yeah, you can do some deep dives and like MMOs, like you could just, and that's no, you know, that's no secret, you could just have a completely dedicated World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14 or Black Desert Online, Elder Scrolls Online, freaking whatever you want to, like you could just completely dedicate yourself. But, obviously, I don't want it to just completely take over. Like, the way I didn't want Yakuza to just completely take over. That's not to say I don't want to be associated with them. Absolutely not, because, I love Yakuza and I love, FF14. But I didn't want them to be my, like... I didn't want to, typecast, you know? Typecast. There we go. Got there eventually. I just didn't want to be 100% typecast, because that's not how I roll or do things. Which nowadays is kind of riskier to do on YouTube, because you find more success in being like super focused on something, but yeah. But I got a plan. It's gonna be a long-term plan. And I can't do it yet. But I just wanna put the seeds down. You know, just wanna put the seeds, just like sprinkle a little water. Get a little bit of nutrients to the seeds, and just wait for them to grow, because I got a plan, and if it works out, it could be really cool, but it could colossally, like, F up in all of its entirety, and you know what? I'm willing to do that chance, so we'll see where it goes, but again, just wanna put those thoughts in there for when it does happen. But yeah. That's going to be it for now, so hopefully you're looking forward to all of the stuff. I hope you enjoyed this update. And yeah. I'll see you guys next playthrough, which won't be too long now.